Just a moment.
Good morning, Paul. You're muted.
But
There we
my
go.
articulation was precise. Good morning, all.
Great, Paul. Right,
Okay,
spot
just-
up. Go ahead, Brooke.
I was going to say, just bear with me. I'm getting that document up so that we can share that first.
Okay, no worries. Take your time.
And there's information, Judy Travis won't be able to join us this morning. She's doing a new TA orientation that conflicts with this meeting.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen now. I believe this is the document that Bill was referring to, hopefully, Bill?
That's the one.
Great. So just for some context, we will provide you with a copy of this document, but we discussed this with Jill. They produced this each year for the last several years so that there's some analysis of the participation rates and other types of useful information here, both health assessment, wellness, and other aspects of membership. And I don't know if any of the members are familiar with this from last year when we looked at it. Javier, I'm not sure if you were involved in looking at it before. I know Bobby may recall, perhaps Mary or some other members, but this is the same type of format. I think it does provide some really useful information, some comparisons for 2019 and 2020.
And I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but the bottom line is that we are doing better this year than we did a year ago. We had more participants in the wellness check, actually significantly more, so that was good. Okay.
Great. I'm going to stop sharing now and we can switch over to some conversation. Javier, I had sent over 2 exploratory proposals this morning. I think you had a chance to at least receive them. I'm not sure about how much discussion you had, but if it's okay, I'll share the screen and we can look at some exploratory changes that we're thinking about for Article 4 first. Does that sound okay with you?
Are you still there, Javi?
Looks like he may have dropped off altogether. I don't see him on the panel. We'll wait a moment and see if he signs back on. I think he's dropped off altogether.
Let's see. Did any of the other officers get a message from him since he dropped off, or?
I haven't heard anything from him, Bobby.
He's signing back on now. I can see his name popping up again.
Here it comes.
Javi, I'm back.
Yeah, but he's still muted.
Oh, Javi, unmute yourself.
Welcome back, Javier.
Sorry about that. I think there are some connection issues on my end, but I think they've been sorted out. Oh.
We can hear you. I think you're back on, so great. As I was saying, I think we shared some exploratory proposals, and I'd like to share my screen to review some exploratory ideas we have for Article 4, if that's okay. Is that a good starting point for us, Javier?
Definitely. Please go ahead, Brooke.
Okay, great. Okay, so this is Article 4 on appointments, reappointments, and terminations. And I'm going to scroll down to the section where we are thinking about some adjustments here to the section 4.9 the summer RA appointment looks like the version that I'm looking at chopped off to 4.9, but we're not looking to replace that. This will be 4.9, and are replacing some language here in this exploratory notion. As you can see here, continuing employees who are on 9-month contracts with assignments as teaching assistants during successive academic years may also be appointed as teaching assistants in an intervening summer term. If teaching assignment is not available for the summer term and such employees choose not to be enrolled during the summer term, they may be appointed as research assistants for the summer term.
Paul can elaborate on this. It's not a, it's an editorial change rather than a substantive change. There has been some confusion during the course of the last contract, and so we wanted just to clarify it.
Right. I think the proposed new language more accurately captures the intent of our prior conversation, that this would be an option available to TAs. But what has happened in some departments is a movement towards using this option for people who had been appointed as research assistants by kind of dropping the summer portion of their appointment of a 12-month appointment, and then having them appointed to this new kind of research assistantship that would save tuition money and may or may not provide for continued progress towards their degrees. This attempt is simply to clarify what I believe were clearly the initial intents, and that was a facility, an option targeted to teaching assistants in 9-month appointments.
Right. I mean, the original intent was simply to give them an opportunity to work for us rather than spend the summer working for McDonald's.
Understood. I guess my only, I wasn't there when this was originally, when 4.9 was conceived, but it looks like with the new language change, if you were an RA on a 9-month appointment, you couldn't benefit from, that additional 3 months during the summer. And in that sense, there is a substantive change, because people who are currently RAs and maybe benefiting from this in good faith, departments are actually doing, giving them assistantships without tuition payment. They would not benefit from 4.9 any longer. Is my understanding correct there? Is that a fair interpretation?
I think that is correct, because that was not the original intent. Most RA appointments are grant supported, and they are 12-month appointments. They're not 9-month appointments.
I see.
And so we ran into an issue with people changing them from 12-month appointments to 9-month appointments, and then inserting this in the middle as a way to avoid having to pay tuition from grant funds or other devices of convenience to the unit rather than to the student, at least from our perspective. So, and I think the original conversation was that this was all about the TAs rather than the RAs. Bobby or other members of the executive can confirm that, I think.
In other words, people were gaming the system.
Yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down. And I guess my only other immediate question with this is, I know some departments, and this is outside of the contract, right? I'll be right up front about that, but some departments will hire GAs as OPS during that 3-month period, which is something that we like. Again, it's not something that we can bargain for, but as far as I understand, this language wouldn't prevent anything like that from occurring. So I guess I want to point that out as a positive. Your thoughts on that, Paul?
It would not prevent that from occurring for TAs. That's exactly what these summer RA appointments are, almost invariably OPS appointments for people who are technically not registered as students during the summer. They're on a short work break from their regular appointment, and they're appointed OPS instead. There's no tuition paid, and I understand that that is desirable. That, from my perspective, if you have this classic situation where a person has 2 successive 9-month appointments as a TA, and the essential choice for the summer is to, as Bill puts it, go work at McDonald's or go be a lifeguard or something like that, versus staying on campus and working in a research assignment that ostensibly furthers the academic program, that the latter is better. And we agree with that. And I think you guys agree with that. We just wanted that to be available for that multiple 9-month TA appointee, because that was what it was originally intended for.
Thank you for your comments. Bobby, do you have anything to add here?
Yeah, well, 2 things to add really. First, the issue wasn't so much that when you say people were, when you say people were gaming the system, the issue wasn't so much that they were taking 12-month appointments and making them 9-month appointments and then going through or keeping the rest of the intent of this provision. The issue was that they were taking 12-month appointments where the appointment was for the RA to do a PI's research, work on grant paperwork, a lot of times supervise undergraduates, clean areas of the lab, and they were doing nothing different in the summer than they were in the spring and fall semesters, when the original intent of this was also to have the graduate student use this time to work on their personal research.
Yeah.
Or research that would go towards their dissertation,
Right.
Or thesis.
Right.
Now,
Yeah, but I guess the point I was making is that departments were taking advantage of it to save money.
they were, yeah. But the second thing I was going to say is this actually takes away any mention of the GA's research. So this could be, I guess, a little more confusing. I was expecting a proposal from you guys that would, I guess, elaborate on this last part here, these last 2 words, or this last clause of the original provision, summer to work on their research. That's been struck out completely.
Well, I think that's a good point, Bobby, and certainly I would support putting a comma after summer term in the new language, continuing the deletion down to work on their research and putting that back in. I hadn't really thought about that as much. Here. Exactly.
Thank you, Brooke.
Yeah, we can resend this once we've wrapped up our discussion here.
Okay, any other?
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead,
Go ahead.
Brooke.
I was just going to ask if there are any other thoughts about Article 4 here.
No, not from me personally.
Okay. Well, we can send this document and give you some additional time if you'd like to talk about it with your group. I think we're comfortable with what we have here. So I'll switch over and pull up the second article. Give me just a moment. This is Article 22. This is Article 22, grievance procedure. And I'll scroll through this section to the place where we made some adjustments here. We've added in 22.9, step 1, some specific references in E and F for grievances referring to circumstances experienced by one or more people employed in a single college. The step 1 hearing shall be with college dean or designee. For chapter grievances or those involving individuals employed in 2 or more colleges, the step 1 hearing shall be conducted by the dean of the graduate school or designee. Obviously, to avoid conflicts for those types of grievances being brought forward.
And again, this one came from me, folks, because we had some confusion with the grievance last year, where it was unclear where to start. It was an individual grievance, it wasn't a chapter grievance, but it was not clear whether that hearing should be with me or at the college. And we basically wasted the better part of a month figuring out where it should be. And so this was added to make it very clear that that these things should be resolved at the college level if they possibly can, if they are involving only one graduate assistant or a small number of graduate assistants all facing the same problem within the same college, then that's where the hearing should be. But if we get into a situation where it is a chapter grievance, or if there are multiple people involved and they transcend multiple colleges, then it didn't seem ideal to have that be heard by one college and one dean. And so that one would come to the graduate school.
On its face, that seems very sensible to me, Paul. It seems like it's not really in the spirit of the earlier proposal. It's not necessarily, I mean, it's a procedural change more so than substantive. And our grievance chair is not here to comment, unfortunately. But like I said, I think it looks good to me personally. What do you think, Bobby? I think you've got a lot more experience with grievances directly than I do.
Yeah, this change is needed. Yeah, I mean, we also want to take a look at other parts of Article 22, but this change that you're putting in here is necessary.
Okay, great. Well, if you have some suggestions you'd like to reply with, then we can certainly receive and review those. Paul, Bill, any other comments about this article?
No, that's fine.
Okay. So those are the articles we wanted to discuss. Thanks for the opportunity to talk through those. And we're interested to see if you have any counter proposals or other items you'd like to bring forward in our discussion.
I think that, so we don't have any proposals today. We know that we're having a huge discussion on healthcare, and Dr. Sumfest has reached out to me and she's told me that she's still waiting on Florida Blue. Well, not still, but she's going to be waiting on Florida Blue for the utilization numbers.
I think she just got them.
Okay, that's good news, Bill. So I hope she can get that to us, because that's going to obviously drive our discussion on our end.
Oh yeah.
About where cuts are not cuts, but
Adjustments.
where we want to, yes, adjustments. Thank you, Bill. Are best made. I think that the time before that, Brooke, you offered a proposal. I think it was regarding the workplace safety article, and we had a discussion about maybe moving some bits beyond that article. But I'm not sure that I received the actual copy. I recall it because there was a restatement of law in there about the university's liability. I'm not sure that was forwarded to us, but we'll want to work off that if we're going to issue a counter proposal.
Okay, are you referring to Article 8?
Let me double check that. I think so.
Okay, we can provide that. I apologize that we haven't sent that yet, but
No worries.
I'll do that. Javier, are you still looking for that document?
Yeah, I'm trying to open up. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure it's Article 8, Brooke.
Okay. I see that I sent you counter proposal for Article 8 on July 21st. I'm not sure if it goes back that far or
So let me check that. That would be the date we met before Dr. Sumfest showed up. But it may have been Article 20, Brooke. I apologize. I'm double checking that now because I thought it circled around mental health. Under 20.3. So it actually may have been an Article 20 counterproposal. I apologize. I know we talked about them simultaneously. That's why I'm probably a little confused. But I'm not sure if you proposed an Article 20 change on July 21st as well, Brooke.
okay. I'll go back and look at that, Javier, and
Okay.
and find out and get that cleared up and communicate that.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And if I'll double check that too once this is over to make sure I'm not sending you on a wild goose chase. I guess another issue I wanted to bring up with the university team was more of a status thing. So the MOU has been ratified. We've done our end of the bargain for ratification. Do you guys have any updates on when the next Board of Trustees meeting is? And go ahead, Bill.
I don't think with the faculty, I don't think we took that to the board for ratification. I don't think we
Okay.
did.
So your position is that that's unnecessary for memorandum of understanding?
Right.
Okay.
And,
All right.
and that is posted now underneath the contract and addendums. There's a separate hyperlink on our HR's website with that copy.
Thank you, Brooke. That's helpful. So just as a matter of course, this MOU is currently in effect and maybe took effect the day that our body said it was okay?
Yeah.
I think they.
Once you bargain it and you say, okay, then we're done.
Okay.
It's not really a ratification.
Understood. Gotcha. Okay.
The effective date on that document is July 8th. The copy that we TA'd and signed off on by DocuSign had a whole bunch of changes, track changes, and so we cleaned all those up and just put July 8th at the top. That's the date you and I both signed through DocuSign and posted that. So when you take a look at that, if you have questions, please do let me know.
Okay.
It should be active now.
Thank you, Brooke. Yeah, we'll definitely do that. All right. I don't have any other anything to bring to the table this morning. I'm not sure if Bobby or anyone else in our membership would like to bring something up now. I know some of you are muted. We can unmute you. Just let us know if you want to participate in the chat. I'm not seeing any takers. So we'll go ahead and we'll conclude this morning unless someone tells me otherwise, or forever hold your peace. We're set for 2 weeks from now as well.
Right. I have a question for you. Would you
Go ahead,
like
Bill.
Would you like Dr. Sumfest to join us for the next session to walk through that score sheet?
So I'm not sure if you're signaling that you want to make the next session healthcare intensive, and that's pretty much all we'll talk about, or if you'll have an exploratory notion or proposal at that time. I think that would be helpful. We're still kind of digesting. She gave us a lot of information last time and in April, and we're still kind of digesting it as it comes along with the utilization stuff. Go ahead, Bill.
Then I would suggest that we, at some other later date, we could, maybe when we're done bargaining, just as an information session, just fill you in.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. I'm amenable to that.
Yeah, are you planning on making a healthcare proposal next time, Bill?
I thought our approach is, rather than to make a proposal, is to say, we've got all these options out here. Let's talk about which pieces make the most sense so we can move the chess pieces around.
I think that that's a good idea, and I like that we're taking this approach as opposed to ping ponging back and forth,
Right.
And kind of unearthing where our gripes are. To make the most of that kind of session, I think that we're going to need a little bit of time
Okay.
to converse with our membership, to get those utilization numbers, and to kind of carve something out. I like the idea of us coming together, both parties informed, and just this. We're very dear to this. It's hard for us to budge on this, and we really like this kind of.
Right.
The university will have its turn. We'll have its turn, or our turn. I don't know that we'll be prepared to do that next session.
Okay.
But I can give you an update then on where we stand on this kind of healthcare caucus, I'll call it.
Right. Okay, that'd be great.
Okay. Yeah, we'll work on that, Bill. And we will we will caucus after this meeting today, GAU, very shortly, and we'll talk about the articles 4 and 22 exploratory notions.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill, Paul, and Brooke. And Becky, if you're still here.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a great afternoon.